Until recently, household central vac systems offered some convenience but couldn't get around the number one complaint: storing and lugging around that bulky hose. Well, all that has changed. This is the Cana-Vac hose docket that stores a 45-foot hose neatly inside the wall cavity. It's the only in-the-wall central vac hose management system that allows the use of a 120-volt power nozzle for superior deep-down cleaning of embedded allergens and dirt, and a Cana-Vac XLS power canister for powerfully quiet operation. The HEPA membrane DuPont Teflon filter system is self-cleaning and maintenance-free. It offers the ultimate in home environment air quality by filtering particles down to 0.3 microns at 99.97% efficiency. And if vented outdoors, 100% of vacuumed allergens are safely removed from your living area. There's also a complete accessory kit with a full array of handy tool attachments that can be neatly stored and ready to use. With the push of a button, the 45-foot hose can be dispensed from the wall, helping to provide 2,000 square feet of coverage from a single docket hose station. When you're finished, simply retract the hose back into the wall. Plus, the rough-in kits are easy to install and labor-saving. Let's take a look at basic household installation procedures for the Cana-Vac docket hose station and central vac system. Tools and supplies needed for installation include a Phillips head screwdriver, pocket knife, PVC glue, crimp pliers, staple gun with 3/8-inch staples, a flashlight, a drill with a 2 1/4-inch drill bit, along with the materials and supplies furnished for installation. Also included in the rough-in kit are a retractor cabinet assembly, storage cavity liners, hose to PVC adapter, 4 number 6 by 1-inch flathead screws to install the rough-in box in place, and 2 insulated male slip connectors for Class 2 low-voltage connections. The rough-in kit will be installed between 2 wall studs in a centrally located area that allows for maximum coverage. Since the hose is 45 feet long, establish a central location by using a 50-foot measuring tape or a pre-measured 50-foot cord. The Cana-Vac hose docket should not be installed on a load-bearing wall, firewall, or exterior wall, since the 2-inch vacuum source pipe, 120-volt AC power, and low-voltage line will all be run to the Cana-Vac docket hose retractor. The finished rough-in kit will have a 2-inch PVC vacuum source and a low-voltage line extending 8 inches into the upper right-hand corner of the cavity opening. A 120-volt AC line will enter in the upper left corner of the retractor cabinet. The 2-inch PVC vacuum line and the low-voltage line will run to the central vac canister located in another part of the house. To install the rough-in kit, you will construct a free space area in the stud wall 30.5 inches wide by 43 inches high, starting 5 inches above the floor. Note, if the molding is going to be higher than 5 inches, be sure to start at a height above the molding. Some cutting may be required to construct the proper space, along with top and bottom purlings. Now, to install the retractor cabinet, make a mark on the right-hand stud by measuring 40 3/4 inches above the top of the lower purling, which is 5 inches above the floor. Set the retractor cabinet into the prepared space, allowing for the PVC to extend 8 inches into the upper right-hand corner. Install 1 number 6 by 1-inch flathead screw in the flange of the retractor cabinet. Level the box and install a screw in the opposite side. Check to make sure the measurements are correct and the box is level, and install the other 3 screws. The 2-inch PVC coming in at the top of the retractor cabinet can be measured, aligned, and inserted into the upper left corner of the retractor cabinet. Be sure that 8 inches of PVC extends into the cavity opening. Reach into the closed portion of the cabinet from underneath with the hose to PVC adapter, and glue the adapter onto the 2-inch pipe projecting into the cabinet from above. There will be low-voltage wiring near the location of the 2-inch vacuum pipe. Pull approximately 18 inches of these two small wires through the hole on the top of the retractor cabinet left of where the pipe enters the retractor. Tie a knot in the wire so it cannot be pulled back through the hole. Crimp the two inline crimp slip connectors, which are provided, onto the low voltage wires. The 120 volt AC line will run to a 15 amp ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI, which can be marked but not connected at this time. To install the cavity liner, place the 3.5 inch by 32 inch sections over the two studs and bottom purling, covering the 2x4 studs. Staple securely using 3/8 inch staples every 5 inches along the outer edge of the stud and purling. You may have to tap the staples flush with a hammer. The width of the plastic liners may also need trimmed. Slip the large wall liner up over the face on the bottom of the retractor cabinet and staple in place to the studs and purling. The liners must enclose the entire wall cavity below the retractor cabinet. Note, this appliance is designed to be permanently hardwired by a qualified electrician to a ground fault circuit interrupter 15 amp circuit breaker. Also, check your local building codes for any other stipulations that must be adhered to. Remove the switch cover plate on the inside of the retractor cabinet and wire to the electrical codes provided with your instructions. Generally, the canister will be located in the basement, utility room, garage, or any other remote area where it is convenient to an electrical outlet and will not be exposed to the weather. Do not install the canister in a heat-producing or confined area such as an attic or furnace room. The power canister can be exhausted to the outside if desired, but it is not mandatory. The canister should be at least 12 inches from the ceiling or any corner wall in order to properly cool the motor. Also, make sure the canister is at least 18 inches above the floor to allow enough room to remove the dust container. Central vac power canisters require a separate, dedicated 120 volt, 60 Hz, 20 amp, 3-wire grounded power circuit, protected by a 120 volt, 60 Hz AC 20 amp time delay fuse or circuit breaker, and a 120 volt, 60 Hz, 20 amp grounded receptacle, installed by a qualified electrician. The receptacle should be no more than 5 feet from the power canister. Once the location has been determined, a mounting bracket must be installed onto the wall surface. Obviously, cement block or concrete walls will have different mounting hardware than drywall or plaster walls. Mount the bracket securely to the wall. Mount the power canister on the bracket, making sure the bar on the back is settled to the bottom of the slots on the mounting bracket. The wall mounting bracket must fit between the two brackets on the back of the central vacuum. Once the canister has been installed, you must run 2-inch PVC vacuum pipe and low-voltage wire from the retractor cabinet to the canister. First, figure out the path of the PVC from the cabinet to the canister, being sure not to interfere with any heating ducts, plumbing, or other equipment that will also be installed in the walls and ceilings. Using a full selection of 90 and 45-degree elbows, you should be able to route the PVC up, around, down, and through any inner wall or ceiling area you desire. A drill is used to create holes through wall studs and flooring. Start at the cabinet and work your way over and down to the canister. Secure the PVC to the studs with clamps wherever necessary and use metallic nail guards to prevent other fasteners from damaging the PVC, which could cause a vacuum leak. Once you've routed the PVC down to the canister, insert the tubing into the canister inlet, but do not glue the PVC to the inlet port. Connect the 24-volt wires coming from the wall valves to the 24-volt receptacle on the machine. Replace the cardboard insert in the face of the retractor cabinet to prevent dust and debris from entering the cabinet during drywall and painting. After the finished drywall and painting is complete, you can install the finish kit. The finishing kit carton has these basic components: a hose retracting power drive unit, known as the retractor, electric vacuum hose, and a front door cover and frame. You will install the hose assembly first. Remove the cardboard protective dust cover from the retractor cabinet and clean away any sawdust, drywall dust, or other debris from the cabinet and hose storage area. You may also have to clean up the drywall edges with a knife. Inspect the interior of the retractor cabinet. Note the position of the hose to PVC pipe adapter. This is the receptacle for supplying vacuum to the system. During installation, keep the hose coiled in the box to prevent it from getting dirty. Carefully cut off the plastic ties so the hose is free. To insert and lock the hose, hold the hose end opposite the handle grip with your left hand. Reach into the cavity and insert the hose end over the hose to PVC adapter protruding into the retractor cabinet at the far side. Be sure the wires and locking clip are facing the center of the cabinet for easy wiring connections. Slide the hose clip firmly upward until you feel or hear the clip lock into place. Tug gently downward to assure that the clip is locked. The hose is now firmly in place. To install the hose into the retractor, open the retractor by pressing firmly on the latch button clips on each side while pulling on the small section of the retractor. Holding the retractor with the locking latch at the top left, place the hose in the gear mechanism so that the handle is to the left and the long length of hose in the cavity is to the bottom. Push the hose hard against the large side of the retractor and insert the end of the smaller section with the hooks into the bottom right of the larger part of the retractor. Push firmly against the hose until the buttons clip in place. You may need to pull slightly on the hose to engage the gears. Install the latch lock screws that are included, and the hose is now inserted into the retractor. Once the lock screws are in place the retractor in the open space, locking latch up, with the hose inserted into the cavity space. Place the retractor into the retractor cabinet and reach into the cavity to secure the two 120-volt leads and plug them into the back of the retractor. For safety purposes, the plug is polarized to reduce the risk of electrical shock and only fits one way into the outlet. Next, connect the 4 pairs of low-voltage wires. 2 come from the hose area and 2 from the retractor. The white plugs connect only one way, and the others connect either way. Now, slide the retractor back into the grooves in the retractor cabinet. Inside the top of the cabinet, there is a switch cover plate with an off-on switch. As the retractor slides into the cabinet, the switch moves to the on position. The retractor will firmly snap into place when the locking latch is in place at the top of the retractor cabinet. Hold on to the handle grip and press the button marked In. The hose will start to retract into the cavity space. You may have to pause to untangle the hose as it's coming out of the box. Again, keep the hose off the floor and away from sawdust, dirt, and other debris. The hose should feed smoothly into the wall cavity until the handle is inside the cabinet. Insert the hose cavity cover into the retractor cabinet. Make sure it does not fall into the cavity. To install the door frame and door, simply unsnap the door from the frame and place the frame over the retractor cabinet with the hinge pins to the right. Line up the frame and insert the 2 upper screws just tight enough to hold the frame into place. Now place the remaining screws that have been provided into the frame and tighten all 8 screws securely. Snap the door to the frame so that the door swings freely and snaps into the closed position. If it does not snap shut, the 2 left screws are too tight and need to be loosened slightly. The frame and door can also be attached with the door hinges on the left side if needed. The retractor is now properly installed and ready for use. To operate, carefully open the cover door on the docket and push the center button marked Out on the handle grip. The hose will feed out of the cavity. When the sufficient length of hose has been extended, remove the rubber cap and connect the vacuum attachments. To start the vacuum system, push the button marked Vac. If the power nozzle is attached, it will activate as well. While using the system, you will be able to extend or retract the hose as needed. When you're finished vacuuming, press the In button on the hand grip and the hose will retract back into the wall cavity. Be sure to put the rubber cap on the end of the nozzle to make sure that vacuum pressure is not lost to the other inlets in the home. The patented Cana-Vac docket is the only in-the-wall central vac hose management system on the market that allows the use of a 120-volt power nozzle. It's a very appealing feature to homeowners and adds value and quality to any new home construction.